Welcome to Confessions with Bryahna. Um, I'm 25, right? My son, he's 3. He was born with a cleft lip and palate. I might offend some people in this video, but I'm really sorry. But I just gotta talk about it because my soul is crying for help. Like, it's crying for somebody to just listen, just understand where I'm coming from. I'm sorry if I offend you. I'm sorry if this comes out totally like wrong, but I gotta talk about it. So 3 years ago, I found out I was having a baby at 8.5 months pregnant. And it shook me, like, it shook my whole soul to know that I was just living my best life. And then to one day go to the doctor and to find out I was having a baby. I went through it. I went through the emotions of it. The first day I found out I was having a baby because I didn't know. I didn't know. I was just living my best life. And then I was working. I was still doing everything I was doing normal as life. And then my client one day, he kicked me in the stomach. And then I was just hurting for days. So I went to the ER. They told me I was having a baby. They rushed me to the 5th floor. And then right then and there, I found out I was having a baby. They told me, first they told me it was a girl. And then I had some, like, two doctor's appointments. And yeah, if I found out I was having a girl, and they told me later on that it was a boy. Well, when they told me it was a boy, they told me that something was wrong with his mouth. They told me that I had to go for, like, I went from, like, not knowing I was pregnant to having all these appointments to figure out what was wrong with my son. Well, at that time, I was talking to my baby's dad. We were cool at first, right? And then later on down the line, shit started to get rocky. Like the ground was shaking rocky. So I'm going to say maybe this all happened in a span of, I'm going to say, a month and a half, right? Because I found out I was having a baby on May 27th. I had my son on June 25th of 2022. And so during that time, I'm going to say like the first 2 weeks, it was just, I was still doing life. I would still be able to work, and I was still okay. Well, the 3rd week came, and they told me I couldn't work no more. They told me that I was just too high risk of, like, my baby having something wrong with it. Well, we're going to fast forward the story a little bit to, we're going to say about June 10th. Shit's still cool. I like rushed the baby shower. Like, me and my best friend at the time, we had like rushed the baby shower. We made shit happen. And then we were like preparing because we didn't have nothing. Like, there was no baby shit. There was nothing. And at the time, my mom was still around. Like, my mom and my dad, he was still alive. Everything's cool. So we going fast forward a little bit to June 24th. That's when shit really hit the fan. My water started to break, like drippity drips, but it didn't fully break until I went to the hospital. I remember getting in the ambulance, and I remember my best friend asked me if I peed myself, and I was like, nah, like, this feel weird, like, I'm leaking, but it's like nothing, like, I'm not really wet. So she called 911, the ambulance came. So they rushed me to the hospital. Right then and there, they told me I was in pre-labor, but my water didn't break. So they had to give me a shot. I don't know what the shot, I think it was Pentatocin. And they gave me the shot to induce me, because I was already right then and there. When they induced me the first time, that's when my water broke. The second time, it was just to, like, speed it up. And then we're going to say this happened at 11:59. Or 11:57, somewhere in there. My son was born. He was rushed to the NICU. My mom was still around at the time. And, shit was cool. My son was in the NICU, though. So, mind you, I'm rushing back and forth to the NICU just to be with my son 2 times, 3 times a day, like rushing to go get some clothes, going back, And at the time, they asked me if I wanted to give him what do you call those things? do you call those things? Where they cut the meat of your wee wee. They asked me if I wanted to do that. I said yes, but they told me I had to be there. So, but I didn't want to be in a room, so I left to go get some food. I rushed back to the hospital to go get some, to be there, but I didn't want to watch him be in pain while they did it. A cesarean, or what do you call them? What do you call those things? Yeah. Anyways, so he was still in the NICU. Fast forward 2 weeks, he got to go home, but the whole time in the NICU, it was just pain, right? And so he finally got to go home or whatever. But then when he got home, he still needed help. He still had oxygen. He still needed things. So he had surgeries. We're going to fast forward the story to up to 6 months. Because during this time period, I couldn't record any of this because I was just so much pain and so much shock that my son was going through all of these things. My best friend had moved out. So it was just me and my sick baby. Man, when I say it was so traumatizing, my soul is just girl, we got to talk about it. Because if I don't talk about it, it's just going to eat me alive. So my son at this point, he'd had maybe two major surgeries. He's had his lip repaired. He had his tongue tie released. And he had some other kind of surgery. That was the first surgery. The second surgery is when they fixed the whole palate. Well, when my son turned 6 months old, I had a hip replacement. So he was with his dad for 2 weeks. The worst 2 weeks of my life. I was so unsure of the future. I didn't know what was happening because I was in the hospital. I was recovering from my hip replacement. So at this time, this story goes from 22 to 25. So I'm 22 now. I'm dealing with a hip replacement. So I'm like, damn, what now? But my baby at the time, he still needed surgery. So I'm trying to rush and get myself back together in pieces while the whole time my baby recovering. I'm like, damn, Bryahna, so what now? I had his dad's help in the beginning, and then shit fell apart, and then I just stopped having his help. Well, my son, major surgery when he was one. His very first surgery, his dad told me it was just too much. I couldn't do this. I can't do this. You got this. I'ma leave. So he left. He went back to his girlfriend in their house, But I had to watch this baby for 24 hours. I couldn't shower. I couldn't fucking eat. I had to just worry about this sick little boy. So now he getting all the help. I'm recovering. I'm doing PT. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And then boom, he needed another surgery. And I was like, damn, Lord, what more can you give me? I'm weak already. And mind you, my son, he just was newly born. My dad died a month after my son was born. So from June 25th to July 25th, my dad died. Boom! My world's shaking up. I'm going through it. I'm like, damn. My dad died. But I couldn't, grasp the fact that my dad was dying. I rushed him to the hospital. My mom had called him. So I was, rushed him back his phone to, give it back. And I had my son. So they told me, ma'am, you can't go back there because your dad is already in the back. I was like, the fuck you mean he already in the back? He was just here. He was just in the ER. So the man was like, can you just give me the phone? You go take your baby and you head home. So I ain't had no other choice but to leave. I'm like, damn. My baby, he a month old. My dad died. My son still needs surgery. I done had a hip replacement at this point. So I'm like, damn, what now? What more can you give me in 7 months, Lord? Boom, my grandma died. Boy, I damn near lost it. But I had to still move on. I had to still be strong because my baby needed me. So I'm being strong. I'm holding on. Now my dad, my grandma now. What more could you give me? My son had another surgery at this point. So I'm just